Just joining, I am ranked top 5 female psychic medium in the US. And I love to create these videos. We're live every weekday morning at 9 a.m. as it stands now until the podcast's launch, which I am absolutely thrilled to be able to say that because we're getting closer and closer and closer. So today we have a new moon in Sagittarius, which is exciting. I have a little exercise for us to do that is going to bring clarity for you, help to make decisions, help to bring a little bit of illumination to your world and your heart, your level of self-confidence, how you sort through different obstacles or different things that are coming up for you. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. All right, taking a nice big deep breath in through the nose and releasing down the root chakra to the center of the planet. Feeling yourself anchor in fullness, feeling yourself anchor in wholeness. And as we call in divine truth and love into this sacred space, we invoke the highest possible healing for each and every viewer, replayer, and myself. We ask for the courage and compassion to speak and to hear from the purest form of self-love and forgiveness to all involved. Beautiful. So something that also just came up as I was sharing that prayer is that I created a little ebook yesterday on quantum leaps. Quantum leaps, I'll go ahead and explain a little bit of that. Because as we're doing this exercise, we might as well juice it up a little bit. How's that sound to you guys? All right, so quantum leap this is the combination that I find works really well for the quantum leap. One, there has to be a certain amount of fed upness, that you have to be at a certain place where you are like, I'm done. I'm done with this cycle. I'm done with the way this is. I'm done with being stuck in this place. And so that level of fed upness, as I call it, I've often said that being fed up is one of the most powerful places you can be, because it's when you start shifting and changing things very quickly. There also has to be a bit of direction for this quantum leap. Where do you want this leap to take you? What is your intention in calling in a quantum leap? Word of caution with the quantum leaps, because I feel like it's really important to say that, because a quantum leap is like, woo, yay, oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun, especially if you're new to the vocabulary. Well, when you call in a quantum leap, what will happen is that you will have a series of things that take place in your life that evoke a massive emotional upheaval, because those particular patterns are what is keeping you stuck. So when you call in a quantum leap, the fed upness is one thing, but then also just know that there will be a heap of stuff that generally comes up to help you move through it, to actually help you shift into a new field of awareness. And then the other piece is, and this one can be a little bit triggering to some people, but it's having a little heavy, not a little heavy, but a little dose of arrogance. It's that humility is not what's going to serve you in calling in a quantum leap. If you want to call in a quantum leap and you want to really change your world, change your environment, maybe move to a new place, get a different job, have a big upswing in your income, you want to shift out of a relationship, whatever it is, there's a certain level of arrogance. And arrogance gets a bad rap because it can be very off-putting, right? So we have this idea in our society that it's, and especially I'll say the healer complex, because the healers have a tendency to have very, very low self-worth. And the reason that healers have very, very low self-worth is oftentimes because they come from a traumatic background, or they have some sort of abuse cycles or patterns in their life before the age of 10. So this creates an internal complex around healers not thinking that they're good enough, not thinking that they're worthy, not thinking that they're valuable enough. And then you go into the healing world and there's all sorts of weird gurus and there's all sorts of predators, and there's also like, you have to have discernment when we start talking about like going to workshops and this, that, or the other. It is up to you to choose who it is that you are going to see as someone who is going to teach you, as a mentor in any way, shape, or form. And so when you are sorting this out and when you are learning this, there is a very valuable, and again, we're going to go through the clarity exercise today, but it's going to be very valuable for you to understand and for you to hone in that there's a little piece of arrogance that is mostly focused and centered around the absolute belief that you can do it. And so it's funny to me that in this world, something like arrogance gets a bad rap in that way, when we look at it and we look at confidence, of how slighted people that have a lot of confidence get. And ultimately, a lot of people that have potent confidence, let's say, is it's credible. Like, they've worked for it. They've made some pretty significant accomplishments. And so those pieces, you want to look back at the times or things where you have done really well, where you've had really incredible accomplishments, because we all have. So it doesn't necessarily matter exactly what it is, but when you look back and you're like, wow, I actually did that. I made that happen. I made that shift, or I got that accomplishment, or I reached that goal, or I XYZ, fill in the blank, whatever that is. Right? So you want to be able to see so clearly for yourself how powerful you are. So when you evoke the quantum leap, it's usually coming from a place of like not feeling so good about yourself, right? You're like, I've been stuck for a while. I don't like that I'm stuck. I don't like the circumstances here. So there's kind of maybe a lot of beating yourself up or self-punishment that's been going on for who knows how long. You're in a rut. You want to get out of it, so you want to start shifting it. Well, the thing is also is that the quantum leap, it's almost like a springboard. Like, there's certain things that have to happen before the quantum leap in order for you to be able to shift and let go of that field. And that's the field that you're in. It's the emotional setting of the place that you are in that has created those circumstances that you don't like, right? So we upgrade, we up level, we make some shifts. But the quantum leap specifically is not just, okay, well, I'm going to move over here because I don't like this, or I'm going to shift this over here, or I'm going to quit my job. A quantum leap is looking at the possibilities. And we can look at the possibilities of other people that are out in the world. And it's not necessarily that we're comparing, we're taking notes of what's possible. So when you're taking notes of what's possible, and you start to see very clearly for yourself what it is that you want, being very specific and very clear, and also fully 100% believing in yourself. That is the piece that has to be unwavering to truly call in a quantum leap. And some of them will be destiny points. Some of them will be fate points, as we talked about in earlier videos, to remind you, to help you see, because sometimes we get stuck in these ruts that we blind ourselves emotionally and energetically from what's possible. So I've just posted it in the link in my bio. I wrote a short little ebook, made a little video about quantum leap that goes a little bit more in depth than what we just spoke about here. If you're interested in checking that out, please feel free. I'll post a link in the description below here too, so you can find it easily. All right. the clarity exercise. Like I've said to you before, I never come to these with a plan. They always just kind of show up when I start talking. And it's funny how this clarity exercises just kept coming up. So these are some of the psychic tools that I learned when I was going to school at the Berkeley Psychic Institute after I got my degree in psychology from Sonoma State. The thing about psychology that really disappointed me was that it only focused on mind and body. So I started taking some beginner level meditation classes at the Berkeley Psychic Institute and ended up going through their program. This was 12 years ago now. All right, so let's take a nice big deep breath in through the nose, connecting root chakra all the way down to the center of the earth. And just breathe for a moment. Take inventory of where you are, arms and legs uncrossed. If you can, put your feet flat on the floor. Feeling yourself fully in your body, fully present in your body, your toes, your ankles, your calves, your knees. And remember, there's nothing in this world that has been done that can't be undone. Meaning there is always a solution. And no matter how big the problem is, because we live in a world of balance, of yin and yang, there's always an equal and balanced solution. So as we feel into the new moon energy, allowing your awareness to be focused on something that you are ready for clarity about. And go ahead, breathe through and allow yourself to feel the sensations of your higher self, your inner being, healing and releasing and simply letting go. Just feel what it feels like for the consciousness of your infinite being to be present with you right now and to be healing you. You can go ahead and rub your palms together, opening your hand chakras, and place your palms face up in the receiving mode to signify that you are open to receiving healing in this moment from your higher self. We're not calling in other beings at this point. We're just simply connecting you to you. And just feel that familiar frequency. Go ahead and release and allow all that no longer serves you to flow down to the center of the earth, watching it liquefy, dissolve, transmute, change its shape. So you find that peaceful place. Surrendering and allowing. Beautiful. So if it feels right and natural for you, go ahead and place your palms on your heart. And go ahead and think of a question. Think of something that you are asking, something that you're not quite sure about, something you might be a little bit confused about. So go ahead and get that in your mind. And so if you're sitting in a chair, this is best when you're standing, but if you're sitting in a chair, just pull your back up from the chair a little bit. And you can just simply ask, is it in my highest and best to, and then fill in the blank. You want this to be the positive thing. And so your body will show you. I'm sorry, let's back up for a moment before you ask that question. Go ahead and as you place your hands on your heart, go ahead and ask your body, calibrate yourself to 0. Calibrate yourself to 0-point field. And then go ahead and ask your body, show me yes. And your body should either lean forward or lean backwards. And as you place your hands on your chest, you can also ask your body, show me no. And so for those of you that use a pendulum, you know this is very similar to what we do with pendulums. We're basically turning our body. This is called the sway test. And I take it back. I didn't learn this from the Berkeley Psychic Institute, but this is what's coming up. So this is called the sway test. So go ahead and bring yourself back into, back to your center, back to 0 point. And so you can even ask yourself a couple qualifying questions. Like, for me, I would say, is it true that my name is Sitara? And I get a yes. Okay, is it true that, and you can state your birthday or something along those lines. What is qualifying for you? What is true for you? And so when you test that out a couple of times and you learn that you can trust the sway test, the other thing that I like to use the sway test for is for supplements or foods that it's like, is this good for my body? Does my body align with it? I can pull it into my field and my body instantly knows. So you can just you can literally place whatever it is, the ingredient or the supplement or whatever it is on your heart, and your body will either tell you yes or no. So asking for something that is very, something that you're looking for clarity on, going back to our original question. And as we go back to the original question, I like to state it in this way. Is it my absolute highest and best? Meaning I'm qualifying it for this is the highest timeline. Is this the highest possible timeline that I could be on? Is this the highest possible timeline choice I could make? Is it in my absolute highest and best to XYZ? And so as you get that question and you get your response, your answer, one of the things that I do want to share here that I think is important to note, and this is one thing that I have had to learn the hard way on my journey as a psychic, is that sometimes we get answers and we get answers and we think that is the answer, period, indefinitely. And I don't want to confuse you with this, but I do want to share this because I think it is important. Is that it is important to know that there are some guiding answers or some points of clarity that you will get that is specifically designed to get you to simply make a choice that will turn your point of focus. And as it turns that point of focus, it will continue to, like, you will continue to go on that path until there is another choice point. So it isn't necessarily to say that the choice that you make right now is a choice that you have to make and stay committed to for the rest of your life. It's that when you get this bit of insight, this bit of insight is to get you to focus in one direction. So it's similar to if you get an impulse during the day. Oh my gosh, I'd like to go to coffee bar to get some coffee. I feel that I get pulled to restaurants or I get pulled to coffee bars and I don't always know why. And then when I get there, there's somebody that I'm there to have a conversation with or there to meet with. And then it makes sense to me. And it's happened enough times that I know. So it's listening to these things. It's listening to knowing the pulse. And so this is where it comes to trial and error. The reason I'm able to share this with you is because I've been doing this long enough and I've, made enough wrong turns to know that, okay, so this works in this way and this works in this way. Now, here's the other thing is that this is how it works for me. This is how I know it works for me. And I'm able to share that because I know that I'm here to be somebody that builds a bridge and helps people understand the bridge of their own psychic abilities and how to work with their inner being. So, what we're doing here in connecting with yes, no, that sort of thing, or listening to the impulses, is we're creating a more open dialogue of trust with our inner being. So, that's the point of this. Yes, it is to make decisions. Yes, it is to go in different directions, but especially in the beginning, just try with like little things. Go to your pantry right now, do the sway test with some of the things that are in your pantry and see if they're good for you or see if they're bad for you. See if your body wants them or if it doesn't. That's one way to really start opening this dialogue to create a deeper sense of trust so that when you have bigger questions, you know that you can trust your inner being and you know how that dialogue works. So, I hope this has been wildly helpful. We're getting started or we're getting ready to start Rise very soon. I didn't want to start it before Thanksgiving. So that's going to be starting. I do have a Black Friday special that is in association with it, of course. Um, so you will be notified that if you are on my email list. So one way to get on the email list is to go to monadsociety.com and just simply fill out the little opt-in there that's on the homepage. Or you can go to my Instagram and click the link that's in the bio that will send you the Quantum Leap ebook that I think you should read anyway. It's not that long. It's like a 10-minute read, but it just goes into more of the intricacies of what a quantum leap is. And through that, you will also have an opportunity to input your email. And when you do that, it will drop you onto the email list. I highly suggest that you do that before this weekend so that you can connect. I'm not going to publicly be sharing the Black Friday stuff by any means. I always like to keep these things in private. So that's a benefit of being on the email list. And I would love, love, love to share with you some information about Rise as well. So find me on Instagram. It's the easiest way because they have DMs. We don't have DMs here on YouTube. So find me on Instagram at sitara.speaks or on Facebook and just DM me. Send me into the private message on either one, the word rise, and I'll know exactly what we're talking about. All right, my sweet loves, let's go ahead and take a nice big deep breath and close this one out. They're like, tell them what Rise is about. Rise is a program that is designed to evoke a quantum leap. Rise is a program that is emotional and energetic and guided support and accountability for being able to change some of your behavior patterns, habits. I am focused on working with people that have an open stream of income. So people that are their own boss in whatever way, shape, or form, whether realtor, MLM, coach, crypto, even whatever it is where you have the lever on your abundance. Um, the reason that we want to play with the abundance is that this isn't like a make money course. Um, it's not a make money course in that sense. It is that we are going to be harnessing and honing in and focusing on energetic mastery, cultivating our energetic connection to ourselves to refine the way that we move through this world. Now, the reason, so it is a case study, and the reason that I am excited about being able to share this is because I have a much bigger program and much bigger business plan mapped out for the next couple years. I want to be able to use these methods and create some testimonies, case studies, that sort of thing, which is why we're able to share it with you right now for what the offer is. So if that feels like it resonates for you and you're curious, you want to know a little bit more, you can start by clicking the link in the bio, get that Quantum Leap ebook, or send me the message Rise. That's how you're going to get it. You're going to get all the information. It's going to start a conversation for us and will lead you right to the pot of gold. All right. So, and celebrating the clarity that the sway test brought on. As we go forth, may we integrate the healing and the lessons received with courage, self-love, and compassion. Our session here is very much in love and very much complete. All right, my sweet dears, I love you. I adore you. I will see you again very soon. I'm not sure if I'll be here tomorrow or not because it's Thanksgiving. Might just take the day off and I might wake up and be like, I want to connect with everybody. So go ahead. You can check in later in the day. If you want to see me in the morning, check my Instagram. It's the best place. I just tell you everything there.